What's going on, everybody? It's
Ashley, Nyla,
and Titus, and we are back with another video. All right, what's going on, everybody, man? Listen, we are back with one of these couch session videos. I should start calling this the couch session video. We back with another couch session video. Man, today we are going to be discussing anger in relationships. Anger in relationships or marriage. Anger in relationships or marriage, man. So, this is a subject that definitely want to talk about, man, because anger is so relevant in today's society. And we are going to talk about it specifically in relationships and marriages. So, anger happens a lot in relationships or marriages, man. And like I said, we use this not like to like tell people what to do or give or even give like advice or anything like that. You can look at it like that, but really we just want to talk about these issues, and we want to talk about how we have experienced it so far in our marriage and also our relationship dating phase before marriage, and explain how we dealt with it, explain how some things we could have done better, and maybe you can learn from it. Okay, that's all this is. Not trying to say that what we're saying is you have to do it or anything like that. We just use these to just talk about the issues, because a lot of issues in marriage and relationships fail to get talked about, man. So we're going to talk about it. So we each are going to share a story of when.
You didn't give me for a time to prepare on this. I don't
a story though? That should be easy.
I didn't even know we were like doing this.
Story though?
Oh, you're putting me on the spot, so I can't think of any.
A story of when me or you got angry? I can think of like 3 right now. I got one.
Oh wait, I have one.
Okay, so you can go ahead and go first.
I asked him to do something, and he got mad because I asked him, and he threw something at the wall.
No, but like, it's deeper than that, though.
I don't want to go into detail of what it was.
No, not of what it was. Okay, let me explain this situation, because she said that like I was just like I don't know, like
Abuser?
So no, not necessarily that. So let's clarify this. Okay. It was a day where I had worked like 10 hours, I think. And I was super tired. I think I had woke up early, did the dishes, got some things done, changed Nyla's diaper, fed Nyla, I was just tired at the end of the day. And me and my wife and I are opposite, right? Okay, so when it comes to getting things done around the house and cleaning, I'm that kind of person where I like to get up early in the morning, 7, 8 o'clock, sometimes 6 o'clock, get things done around the house, so then I got the rest of the day free. I'm free to do whatever I want to. My wife is the type to where she want to sleep in to the afternoon, and then, well, I shouldn't say afternoon, maybe till 10 or 11, and then in the evening, she gets this big boost of energy out of nowhere to start cleaning. And at that time, especially when I work, I'm like, I'm tired. Like, why are we cleaning at 9 o'clock at night?
Because I saw one thing wrong, and I had to fix everything that I saw wrong. That's how I roll. When he needs that is, I could see, because I see the dishes need done.
I was trying to
so then I start doing the dishes, and then next thing you know,
but you interrupted me.
This is my story. Anyways. So I see the dishes need done. Then I'm like, I need swept and mopped. It looks horrible. So then I sweep and mop. I'm like, wait, the living room could be swept and mopped. So I do the living room. Then I'm like, wait, there's toys on the ground. Then I have to pick up the toys. And then all of a sudden, like, the I don't know, the laundry, the washer needs wiped off. So I wipe the washer and dryer, and that just goes on and on until I'm done.
So, yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that happens, right? And it's like, Nyla's almost time to go to sleep, and I'm super, super tired. And it's like, man, it was one night, man, because she was doing this for a while. I should say, not like every day, but she was doing it maybe, once in a while for a while. And I was like, man, I'm sick of this, bro. And I didn't handle the situation right at all. I really learned from this situation. I really did. I did not handle this situation right at all. I mean, it was disgusting how I handled it. But I was just fed up from all the times before. Some things that was going on. I was fed up. I was angry. And so And so I, me being fed up, she wanted me to do something, and I'm in the room, and I lay down. I'm laying down, basically trying to send a message to her like, "Yo, stop! I'm tired. I'm not doing nothing right now. Yes, I would like to get things done for you, but not right now." But I should have said that in a nice way to her, But instead of me doing that, she came in. Are you gonna do this? And then here's something that makes a man mad. Let me tell y'all females right now something that makes a man mad, right? She talking about, are you gonna do this? I said, I'll get you in a second. She said, I'm gonna do it. And then she ran over there and tried to do it. And so I was angry. So I got something, and so I picked it up and I threw it against the wall. Angry. Not handling it right at all. I mean, terrible way to handle it. Now, it's better than throwing something at her or punching her, or something like that. That's terrible. But nonetheless, I still did not handle it right. Throwing things, that's not a healthy way to handle something in your relationship or marriage. And that right there is something that makes men upset. When their wife or girlfriend or something like that, fiance or whatever the case may be, asks them to do something, and then they don't do it within the next 5 seconds, and then the female, man, I'm just gonna do it. Like, hey, give me a minute. But anyway, that's just something on the side note that's funny. Because I actually seen a TikTok where a couple acted it out, and I was like, man, that's so true. I'm not the only one, but I didn't handle that right at all. And my wife, was like, was like, I'm not dealing with this right now, So I went downstairs, and I'm just trying to handle them. I'm emotional. I'm just trying to, like, man, why'd I do that? I'm just regretting it. I'm mad. I'm upset.
I went and grabbed my stuff and laid in the guest bedroom.
Yeah, laid in the guest bedroom. Yeah, and I was on the couch, and I was like, man, I was like, man. But I was just thinking, like, I was eventually finna go upstairs and try to get some sleep. I was like, I ain't sleeping without my wife, bro. Like, one way or another, we gonna end up sleeping together tonight, because that's not something I do. And so I was down here just reminiscing about everything. I went outside. This is like 12 o'clock at night. I went outside just thinking, just trying to like, man, how could I handle that better? I regret what I did, but we discussed it. We talked it out. Some couples, they would have start punching on each other. So other couples maybe would have ran off and sped off or something like that, all angry and mad at the situation. And then before you know it, they get in a car accident, and one of them dies or something, and you end like that. But I said, and we talked it out. That next day, we talked it out, and we worked it out. And ever since then, we have really been working on our anger. But that was a situation where I got angry. I didn't handle it right. It was terrible. But so now my wife. No, that you had a story, right? No, that was your story.
Yeah, but you didn't finish it.
What do you mean I didn't finish? I
came downstairs, woke you up, and went.
Oh yeah. And then she came downstairs, woke me up, and then I went upstairs and slept with her. So.
But I actually wasn't even supposed to sleep in the guest bedroom. I was just getting to get away from him because I was mad and he was mad, and I didn't want to say anything that would make him, like, hurtful things, because
Absolutely.
That's how I am when I'm mad. But I fell asleep and he fell asleep downstairs, and it was about 4 o'clock. I woke up and was like, come to bed. And then we fell asleep and talked about it the next day. But never go to bed mad at each other.
And let me see. Let's see here. I had a story, right? No, that was done. You're done, right?
No, I'm done.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say my story briefly, and then we're going to talk about some ways that we personally have worked on our anger. Cause we both come from traumatic past. We both had childhood, right? I dealt with grief, and some other things. My wife deals with some things, right? And that's a lot of children nowadays, just because of the society that we live in. We deal with a lot of children growing up in this generation.
Grief from my parents' divorce.
Just all kinds of things, man. Just all kinds of things. I mean, children are suffering in today's society. So yeah, and you carry that baggage with you. You carry everything with you, and it may not even came from your parents. or your grandparents, or it just could have been something that maybe you went over to your friend's house all the time, you know, and their parents just was fighting and fist fighting, black eyes and stuff, and you see that, it's like, man, you know, just maybe from school you got bullied, you know, maybe there's all kind of things that from just today's society you carry with you into your relationships or marriage. You carry that baggage with you, and it creates the baggage in your relationship, that baggage in your marriage, you know. So you have to work on those things. But here goes my story. Oh man, so okay, so I'm about to film a video, and on my personal channel, I upload on there every once in a while. Make sure you go subscribe. It's just Titus Dean Beard. You'll see my face smiling with a suit on. That's the channel. I about to film a video. And my wife at that time, you know, breastfeeding and having had a lot of bags full of breast milk in our.
Don't even get me started on this.
Our deep freezer.
I know where you're going.
In our deep freezer, which is right over here, and it's plugged in. And for some reason, the outlet behind me to the side behind me, it just wouldn't work. So I said I got to use this one to the side. Now I can't plug in both things at the same time because it'll blow a fuse. So I unplugged the deep freezer with all her breast milk in there, and I plug in my mic. And I'm sitting here after the video, and it's getting late. I got it ready for work. It's almost time to, but I said I got to film this video real quick and get it out. So I filmed the video, and I forget to plug the deep freezer back in with her breast milk. Now, the breast milk is only good for how long after it's been unfrozen? A day. And mind you, this is ounces that could feed Nyla for maybe a week, right?
No, it was more 2 or 3 weeks.
Okay, more like 2 or 3 weeks. So that's even worse.
I was at the end of my stash.
So, I forget to plug it back in. It's later on that evening. No, excuse me, the next day. I come downstairs to get one of the breast milk bags to feed my daughter. I open up the freezer. Nearly everything is melted or defrosted. It thawed out, rather. Everything thawed out. 2-3 weeks worth of breast milk thawed out, and this has to be used up in a day. Now, if it's still a little bit frozen, we can still save it. You can freeze it again. Thankfully, my wife was able to save some. But I'm down here. My wife is upstairs. She actually gets up and uses the restroom around that time. I'm down here pacing back and forth, trying to formulate a way to tell my wife what happened. I'm over here like, man, like, oh, God, using choice words, you know what I mean? Like, oh, man, like, what am I gonna do? I'm saying, like, what am I gonna do? I'm over here down here, like, rethinking my life, dog, down here. And Nyla looking at me like, you good? Like, she looking at me concerned, like, what happened, you know? I'm like, dang. And so I go upstairs, I'm like, I do all this, and I'm like,
no, but I come down.
And I went upstairs. You was right there.
Yeah, but I remember asking what was wrong or something.
Yeah.
I heard you saying some stuff.
Yeah, and I said, I'm plugged in deep freezer yesterday, and you was like, don't tell me at all, or don't you say something like, don't tell me at all, thawed out or something.
Don't tell me you forgot to
plug it back in
or something like that.
And I said, yeah, and she stormed down the stairs, and she opened up the deep freezer. I mean, she was infuriated.
You walked down, and I was like, just go upstairs and feed her.
Yeah, I walked down. I was standing right there, like, just trying to think of something to say to where I could, like, it wasn't nothing. It wasn't nothing I could say. It wasn't nothing. It was done. It was a done deal. I said, like, there's some times where I mess up on something, and I try to, like, explain to my wife, like, hey, I messed up maybe I forgot to change Nyla's diaper. No, one night, I forgot to put a diaper on Nyla, and she peed through the night, and I forgot to put a diaper. Dad, I can explain, oh, maybe I forgot, man. Let's just wash the sheets. Yeah, I'm just saying. That's something to where, like, I messed up, but I can explain it to you, and then you're like, oh, it's fine, it's fine. This was the situation. there was nothing I could say. I was silent. It was nothing I could say. And she said, I was standing right there. I remember this like it was yesterday. I was standing right there, and she said, "Go upstairs and feed Nyla." And I said, all right,
You got it.
You got it, man. I went right upstairs. I fed Nyla. Man, I just felt so terrible. And I carried Nyla with me to the bathroom as I was getting ready for work. And I remember I just started crying because I just felt so terrible, man, about it. Man, because it was like it could have been avoided. It wasn't like I did it on purpose. It wasn't like let me just go ahead and thaw my white breast milk out. I'm gonna be a terrible husband. Nah, it was totally by accident. And she was just infuriated. I felt so bad. And Nyla was looking at me like, "You okay?" Like she had that like, "You okay?" look on her face. I was like, I'll never forget it. That face was so cute. But I'll go ahead and have my wife explain how that made her feel and how she handled that anger. Because I left to go to work, so I don't know how she handled it after that.
I was flames in my eyes, angry. I'm talking like my face was boiling, bro. Like I just wanted to punch him in the throat. Because if you're a breastfeeding mommy, you know how hard it is to, one, build a stash, two, breastfeed. I mean, that's all your hard work, your calories, pumping every 2 hours. That took me like a month or two to build that stash. And I wouldn't have been mad if, one, I didn't have I had a good supply, but it was just enough to feed her. So saving that stash, that was an accomplishment for me that I managed to get that far with only being enough to feed my daughter. Like, it's not like I had an oversupply. No. I pumped every 2 hours and saved what I could just to get that stash. And I was starting to wean her off of pumping. So that's the only breast milk I had was what was in that fridge. Of course, I do still breastfeed her, but she's mainly on formula now. But I had decided to give up breastfeeding at the time because I was so mentally drained. But now I only feed her about twice a day on the breasts, and I don't really even pump anymore. But so if you understand, you know why I was so mad. And so when he went upstairs, I looked at it and examined the breast milk and see what I could save. And I saved about 3 bags worth, but I had to use up a whole bag in a day. And she only drinks about at that time was probably 5-6 bags a day. And I had 10 or 12 in there. So, but we finished it. I just told him, I was like, it has to be used by today. Just make sure we give her this milk first. And we figured it out. I saved most of my stash. But I was just livid because I told him before not to use that plug because I don't want and he did it behind my back. I think, and he was slick and I wouldn't find out. Obviously I did because you ruined my breast milk. But it was all figured out. It was not, there wasn't any wasted and I saved most of it. But yeah, if you understand or you're a breastfeeding mom, you understand why I was so mad. If you don't breastfeed or you have it, then you probably think I was just being over dramatic or being sensitive. But no, that was all my hard work that I built up to feed her. And that was my last bit of stash because I had quit pumping.
But how'd you handle the anger, though?
I don't even remember.
Oh, okay.
I think I may have went back to sleep. Trying to stop thinking about it. That's how I cope with things. I sleep.
Yeah. And then later on in the day, I think she forgave me and, this and that. I know it wasn't your fault and, which just made me feel really good. Because I was stressing out at work until she sent that message. So, thinking man, I'm a terrible husband and father. I'm this is all them thoughts coming to my mind. But later on in the day, I felt a lot better.
I just had to re-sleep it, think about it.
But yeah, so that right there is some 2 stories how we had anger. It took place in our marriage. It occurred in our marriage, and we really had to work it out. Now, what are real briefly? This video's almost done, but real briefly, what are what couple ways that you can deal with some anger, babe?
In general, or how I do? Because how I do, I either punch something or.
No, like what is.
In general.
What are healthy ways that you can, because you've dealt with anger and handled it wrong, and you've dealt with anger and handled it right.
Walk away.
Yes.
Stop talking.
Yes.
I like to work out when I'm angry. He knows that.
Absolutely.
Write in a journal, or just draw. Go for a drive. Well, I wouldn't say go for a drive because that can lead into go for a run, a walk.
Yes. And all these apply for marriage and relationships.
Watch TV or a YouTube video.
Good one. Get your mind off of it.
Eat something.
Yeah.
Food always helps.
Hey, almost done. It's okay. Okay.
Nyla, how do you handle anger?
She cries. Real quick. My wife named some really great things. Please take her advice. She's really good at telling you about things and giving advice. So I'm gonna follow that, and we can go ahead and end the video. But I would say, in my experience, I would say I've learned that you have to remove yourself from the situation sometimes. Whatever's making you angry, you have to remove, because if something continues to make you more angry and more angry and more angry, you're going to explode one way or another. So you have to remove yourself from the situation sometimes and then come back and revisit it. And when you come back and revisit it calmly. Don't come back and revisit it the way you left it. It's just going to continue. The second thing and final thing, honey, you need to go to sleep.
She's had 6 naps today.
Golly, it probably was only 10 minutes. The second and final thing that I'm going to say is I cannot stress how important it is in a marriage or relationship to talk about it. You get all these people, just like my situation. I was angry, building up for weeks in a row without saying it. As soon as something makes you upset just a little bit, talk about it. That is going to prohibit it from going further and further and further and further. You getting more angrier. Talk about this dang on thing. I cannot stress that enough. I really had to learn that. See, because relationships, man, even if you've been in relationships before, you may think, oh, I going in this one. I know what I'm doing in this one. Everybody's different. You're dealing with a different personality, a different characteristics, different background, different baggage that's coming from that person than your past relationships. When you go into a relationship, whether you've had many or whether you've had zero, you have to learn how to work it out together. There's too many people that the first thing that comes up in the relationship or marriage, let's just throw the towel in, man. Forget this, I'm done. First big thing that comes up, no. We've had multiple big things come up since we met each other, and we've had to maneuver through that thing. Maybe it didn't get resolved that day. Maybe it was a couple of weeks, a couple of months, but it finally got resolved. You keep working it out. You keep working and working and working. It takes effort. It takes time. But I cannot stress enough how important it is to talk about what is making you angry in your relationship. Talking is the first thing that you need to do. Talk about it. Communicate it.
Oh, you love that.
Communicate it. Whatever's making you mad, whatever's ticking you off, communicate it. And y'all work that thing out together. Well, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for subscribing if you have subscribed. Our subscribers have grown significantly over the past couple of months. We surely appreciate that. We are on the road to 1,000. Thank you for helping us reach 500. Please help us reach 1,000 by the end of this year. That is our goal. And please Subscribe if you have not subscribed yet. And thank you if you have subscribed. Please comment on this video. Please like this video. Please, once again, subscribe and turn on post notifications. You can be notified anytime Ashley and Titus post a video. Thank you so much for watching. And we are going to see you.
All right, let's say bye. Come on.
In the next one.
Hold on. Say bye.
That's our bye.
You say bye?
Thank y'all. Peace.